I always do focus on retail because I'm retail by background. And two opportunities, you either do the dominant, I mean, you can't compete with the big guys, the big German money, the low cost of capital. You can't get big prime, and I wouldn't want to compete in that market. I'd be happy with smaller towns, say Poland, 100 to, to up to say 300,000-400,000 towns, population towns. If, and it's a very, very big if, you are the dominant and you expect to be the long-term dominant centre. And the other side of retail, which I really like, is much of the stock which Heitman had many years back, is those hypermarket anchored galleries. You look at what Tristan acquired from Charter Hall, 5 assets. The majority of those were all well-trading assets. They bought them at 8.7. One of them was Zakopianka and Krakow was a much higher yield because it was a leasehold issue. But their plan there is income generation through relettings, releasing, changing tenant mix, hypermarket downsizing, upsizing, because Auchan want bigger, but you've got a very good roll your sleeves up, get dirty with the asset, play it, look at the car park, big box, extension, refurbishment, renewal. All of that creates an income growth. Plus, if you've done all of that, you then must have an opportunity of expectation of yield compression from, if you're buying those at 8.5, they would come down. And it's exactly what happened in Molo in Szczecin. I often use that as an example, where Carrefour was halved. They did an extension, brought in new anchor retailers, and it got income growth as well as yield compression. So I'll go for both retail. I know we should all go diversified, but I've taken your show now, Martin. You can't choose retail.
Gordon.
Thank you, I hate to agree. I do think that that's a good play. I mean, I think what Mike said, so I'll just say I'd do that. I'd look at logistics though too. I think that you're going to have to take a little risk, and maybe having a program where you're doing a little bit of development, I think could make a lot of sense. So we are more of a diversified player though, so I can sit here and check all of them. But I think retail's high up, and I think certain logistics plays are still available.
The one word of caution is on demographics though, because you can put out the demographics for any of these towns. It'll show you a population of 100, 150. Very cautious that most people are registered in their hometowns, but they work in Warsaw, or Wrocław, or Krakow. 10 people in my team, only one of them, 2 of us actually, are registered in Warsaw. I'm one, just because I need to be registered there, and the other one is because she was born and bred there. Everyone else is in their hometowns. Insurance is cheaper, tax may be slightly cheaper. So the official statistics has higher population in some of these smaller towns, and actually they're not there, the people aren't there. Either they work in the big cities, or they're working here, or in Germany. So demographics is absolutely key. Don't rely on official statistics. Go on turnover, performance, rent to sales, competition, and so on.
Good, thank you. Martin.
I think there's really not more to add. The only thing is your big if, Mike, what you just said. And I think that's the if is, are you sure you will buy the dominant center, which will be the dominant center over the next 10 years? I think you can't be sure of that anymore. Because when you look into the smaller cities like Lublin or other cities, you see probably there was a dominant center over the last 5 years, but now at least there are 1 or 2 new kind of dominant centers planned. When you look at Poznan, which is one of the most, if you ask me, oversupplied city in Poland with retail.
And more to come.
Yeah, and more to come. I mean, there is a new shopping center at the moment. I think they started construction in Łódź, which is another 90,000 square meters in one shopping center here. So, I mean, all the centers around which have thought in the past, we are now dominant, they won't be dominant anymore. But this is real estate. It can always change. Here. And you have to have the right asset manager, and you have to find your marketing strategy, your niche in which to play here. I mean, either you compete and you can, or you can't, and then find another way. But in general, I would also go into definitely retail and certainly logistics as well.
Okay, good, thank you. So Martin, you've got quite a lot of competition in the retail space by the looks of it.
Okay, but I stay very consequent, because last year here on the panel the same question was the last question, and my answer was if I have the 500 million, which we have, by the way, for the region within this year to spend, and it's not easy to allocate, it will be again retail dominant, and it will be Hungary. on a mid-term, because the fundamentals are okay, the debt situation of the country is okay, the growth perspective is positive. If you really charge in as a risk, the political risk with the leader of the country, who was elected second time, and I was asking my Hungarian people, why are you doing that? In many perspectives, being too much to the right and whatever, human rights and bank taxes, whatever, he put it some oil to the fire, and then he was rowing back, and he always did it. He made it, that he was elected. And you know the answer of my people? There is no alternative these days. It's the best of the worst, but it's at least consequent. So saying that 500 million into Hungary, you won't get the product these days, as we said, the dominant things. The rest I will spend in Slovakia, where we have the best running retail asset in the secondary city named Banská Bystrica.
Financed by Helaba.
And there's a reason why they did. And also it's Euro land already. For retailers, it's heaven because they have no FX risk. Even the risk on FX, we learned today, is limited as we speak up to now. And if money left, some logistic at Prague airport. Thank you.